Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Know Your Enemy. And today on Know Your Enemy we are going to talk about the most terrible enemy of all. Yourself. You know, before you start hating, hear me out and you might learn a thing or two. That is keeping a healthy mindset. Now this tutorial is not targeted for the veterans and hardcore seasoned players, but they can also take a hint from this video, meaning that if you don't maintain a healthy mindset, your playstyle will degrade in time and you'll eventually fall into decay and end up in one of the categories that I am about to show you. And I'm going to also discuss about the strategies on how to improve yourself and what to do and what not to do. So please join me in knowing yourself better. Adapt, improve, overcome. So this tutorial is about laddering and keeping a healthy laddering mindset. So I've conducted the following study on quite a big number of players, and I've extrapolated all the data into just these 10 stickmen. Now these 10 stickmen will amaze you in terms of what they can do, what they have done, and what's in store for them in the future. They represent the Elder Scrolls Legends player base, I should say. I may have a margin of error, but I'm fairly confident that what I came up with, the results are, well, they speak for themselves. So let's get on and see what happens to these 10 stickmen. So it's safe to say that we can begin with the outcome, because that gives us the baseline of what the player base looks like. So we have from left to right in order of decay. Now we've got 3 stickmen that are hardcore, okay? You've got 5 following stickmen that are meh. 2 of the stickmen are yay, and 3 of the stickmen are still meh. And we've got the last 2 stickmen that are labeled with quit. You might wonder what each of these labels represent. Well, it's pretty easy. We're taking the stickmen in the reverse order of decay. So we've got the first, which is actually the last, one of the stickmen that was labeled with quit. So what he did, well, mindless aggro play, as soon as the season started, reached top legends early, no purpose feeling, fell into decay and quit. Now, no purpose feeling, there are a lot of players that have no true objective. Like my objective, for example, is to create content. I do have a secondary objective to ladder and rank up and be recognized as a good player. But my first objective is to explore the game and provide you guys with content. Now, I have a meaning, I have a purpose. This stickman did not. So he mindlessly raced towards the finish line, but it was a finish line that he did not think of what it would look like. So once he got there, he asked himself, so now what? I don't know, I'll just camp here until maybe the season ends and I probably get a good spot. But tried some more matches, started losing, dropping, didn't understand what was going on, felt like he wasn't a part of this game. He didn't relate to anything that was going on anymore, so he fell into decay and just called quits. The second stickman it resembles the first very much, with a few exceptions. This guy actually, let's say he knew partially what he was doing. He net decked, he knew that that build was very successful, he kind of understood what was how it was working, used mindless aggro of course, reached top legends early season, meta shifted or stabilized. He kept playing the same deck, lost count of losses, fell into decay and quit. He had a purpose. Why did he quit? Well, it's pretty easy. His mindset was not an appropriate one. He lacked the conviction that one needs to change and adapt. By playing the same deck over and over again, even though the meta shifted or stabilized itself mid-season, he basically sabotaged himself and felt betrayed, but not by the game. He knew that. He felt betrayed by the game, but actually he was betrayed by himself. And we've now reached the 5 stickmen that were meh. So the initial 3 stickmen that are still meh are good players or used mindless aggro to progress. Let's do the latter. Went overboard with petty ambitions. Like, this deck has to work, I know it. Like, I know it has taken me this far. It has to work. I'm going to keep playing it. People are talking about being consistent. I'm going to be consistent. And I'm going to sabotage myself. Petty ambitions lead to a path of self-destruction. Like Snake, top of the rank, back to Snake, back to top of the rank. And these 3 stickmen felt discouraged. They felt that the matchmaking system was always holding a grudge against them and fraternizing with the enemy, always matchmaking them with the exact decks that defeat them, or by players that have an insane amount of luck and they just can't face this game anymore. So they're basically waiting for stuff to calm down, like the meta, to settle in, or they just no longer care and will just, I don't know, play meme stuff or try to have some general fun. Now, we have reached the 2 stickmen that have changed from meh to yay. Now, as opposed to the previous 3 stickmen, these guys actually got to legends, and they are either good players or just went mindless aggro. And one key point is different than the previous 3 stickmen. Persistency is the key. Well, they played the same deck over and over again. They reached Snake, top, and they said, so what? I'm going to push it. I know at one point I will get lucky and I will reach my intended purpose. So they reached Legends, and right now they probably still play the same deck until they reach a point that, okay, this is no longer working, I don't even care anymore, I've reached Legends, so I'm going to have some fun. And they are going to play for fun until end of the season. And disrupt everybody else in the process, because they're probably going to be running fun police decks, like Tribunals or Tavani Conscriptions. They will be the stickmen. These stickmen will be the thing that points out of the meta that the players actually prepare for in facing in Legends. And 1 out of 10 matches, you'll be facing one of these guys, and you'll just lose miserably because you don't expect somebody to play this in Legends when you try to ladder as much as you can. So we've reached the last 3 stickmen, which are actually the first. Now, these guys are hardcore players, and what they did was adapt, improve, and overcome. They have a good mindset, and they have a rank-based playstyles. The idea here is to make an analysis, a post-match analysis, every time you win or lose. I go by the principle that an understandable loss is much more valuable than an easy win. Meaning that if you know why you lost, you can adapt, you can improve, and you can overcome. So I was talking about rank-based playstyles. This is a good thing because you tend to follow around as you progress, like, what are people playing? Well, it's pretty obvious what they are playing. Unless they shift, I should be able to win against them using this X deck that I will build right now. And they go on and build it themselves, or they actually have some builds that they collaborate with other people, like in a guild or a team. But some people are by themselves, and how are they successful? Well, it's pretty easy. They hang out around the forums, around Reddit, around Twitter. They follow up the good people. They talk and interact with them. Don't have to be a part of a team or a guild to know what is going on. And if you ever played other card games before, then you have a general idea on what this game should feel like, and what can you expect from it, and what can you expect from yourself. Now, these people, the hardcore players, they also have a strong conviction that no matter what happens, they will find a way to reach the top, because that's their objective. And once they reach that top, their objective is to maintain and to preserve the rank and to face off other good players and have a great time. Now, these people actually get the thrills from playing other great players, and that's how they have fun. Another thing that you'd like to keep in mind if you want to be in this group is that you have to know your limits, your deck limits, what it can do. You need to have this understanding, and you'll figure out quickly what are you up against, and if you have any chances of winning, what can you do to win, and how should you change if you lose. If you're in this group, you are most likely running anti-meta decks. What does that mean? Well, you follow the meta around, you see what the tendencies are, and you build yourself something to gain the upper hand. You play the anti-game, in which if somebody defends too much, for example, you need to become an oppressive attacker. If somebody attacks too much, you need to become the oppressive defender and cut the fun short, and then you can do your thing. If you are encountering like action-based decks, control decks, well, you know what the answer is to that. I won't have to tell you. I'll give you a hint. It involves cultists, it involves Garnag, it involves early board spamming and face hitting. Yeah, it's not mindless aggro, it's actually strategic aggro, I'd say. That's the correct term. Now, you also want to have strong builds, because these guys have strong builds with high overall win rates. This means that their builds, their decks, don't fall into a specific category in terms of what it can do. Most of these powerful decks are mid-range decks that can shift their playstyles to whatever they encounter. Like, they're facing aggro, very well, I'll just have a defensive playstyle until I run my opponents out of cards and I take the upper hand. I encounter control. Well, I know I have a lot of cards that can spam the board early and hit for face pretty fast. Playing against mid-range, well, I don't know, but I'll definitely find something along the way that can overcome my opponent. And I'm not trying to be a hypocrite right now. With this example, what I'm trying to show you that this actually works, because I have a healthy mindset, a healthy laddering mindset, and I do the best I can with what I have, and I have a complete collection. By all means, I lack a lot of cards. At some point, somebody said that my decks are stitched together with wire and duct tape. Now, this example right now is when to switch. Now, this is an important factor when laddering, and especially once you reach Legends. It can be applied even to lower ranks, but when to switch is very, very important. As you can see, my matches, I was playing mid-sorcerer, and my matches went into, from mid or from control, went into aggro, slowly progressing towards more and more aggro. Now, this may not be visible from the class attributes that you're seeing, but I can tell you, the first Veteran that I encountered was semi-aggro-ish, and then it went to heavy aggro, and then the next two scouts were just self-silencing catapult scouts. I was lucky there to win, but the next two matches were against a very aggressive Crusader and against a very aggressive Lalu. I was not trying to race them, I was trying to control the board, and I still lost. So my mind told me, well, that's not a good sign, you should shift. If my petty ambition would have continued, I know this deck is good, I'm gonna continue mindlessly with it, my losses would have just been piling up. So what I did was build a very aggressive Crusader. And the first match I get up against is a fellow Crusader, and I win because my deck is more aggressive than his. Went right under. The next two matches, Catapult Warrior and Ramp Rage Warrior. My aggro Crusader went just right under those decks and blasted them in few turns, like 6-7 turns. I was already winning. So, knowing when to shift, understanding the meta, understanding the game, your deck limitations are key to becoming a better player. And also, understand yourself, because you are the master of your own thoughts. Don't fall prey to your own emotions. Be as objective as you can, and try to understand what is going on from a logical perspective, not from an I'd say magically intuition, like, I know I'm going to do better. No, you're not. If you don't do anything to change, you're not going to do better. Now, I may not be the best player. I know I'm not, but I am damn trying to be among the best. And I'm willing to share this with you guys because I want to give a lot to this community. I love this community. Even though I've had some recent shenanigans on Reddit, it doesn't matter. I love what I do, and I love to interact with other people. And giving you advice on how to improve yourself actually makes me feel a lot better and happier. So there you have it. So you can rewatch this video as much as you like. Try to absorb as much information as you can, because I'm fairly certain that it will help you in your endeavors. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.